Happy Halloween. It's been a bit, but been busy. You see, everybody's doing good. We've got Merlin and Obi by themselves. And we've got... Oops, sorry about that. Draco in with the little boys. And the puppy. So Luna's been hanging out with them since they have access to one of our corner fields where they're a little bit more exposed at night to predators. I'll walk this way. So everybody's doing great. You can see Copper's growing like a weed. He's doing fantastic. And we've got him nice and friendly now. Draco's doing really well on the diet for the boar kids. And then Mr. Smoke is coming along. So, now, a lot of people know boars are wormy. They're just more susceptible than Kikos. I actually have a lot of luck putting my boars in with my Kikos because the Kikos seem to pick up all the extra. So Smoke did have a little bit of issues with worms for a hot minute, but we got it under control. And little kid's doing just fine. We're staying nice and healthy. So, and Draco's doing fantastic. He's like, I love the hay all the time and the grain. So, we still got him separate from Obi because we're still a little bit concerned about Rut and those two clashing. This might be something we do every year where we keep the older boys separated for a bit during the season. And they're yelling because all the girls just got fed this morning. And they're like, why didn't we? So, you see, everybody's doing good. It's kind of hard to see black goats on camera. Sorry about that. There we go. Hi, BB. We've gotten very friendly. We're a very sweet baby boy, aren't we? And then we got Miss Luna. They were a little bit leery of her in the beginning, but everybody's doing really well right now. So, and I don't think Draco's ever looked better. He's been enjoying his spoiling. Oop, sorry about the dog. We need to get her brushed out again. She's got one of those coats that's just abominable. I'm definitely going to avoid Pyrenees on the third dog we get someday. But this was kind of a social experiment for us and the dog, because we were wanting to see if as she gets older, we could put her in with the boys so that someday, 4 or 5 years from now, we'll bring a new pup in. We could put them in with the boar girls. And so far, our experiment's been going great. Now, Luna's always liked quieter goats. The Kiko herd for her is just way too rambunctious. And the boars are quieter. They're a lot more staid of goats. The boys, well, they can get ramped up. For the most part, they're pretty fucking chill. So, and honestly, they've been slowly bonding more and more with her too, and she's getting a little bit more affection than she even does from her boars. So I think this is definitely a good timeshare option for her. So, now Miss Luna is Pyrenees. We actually did have her DNA sent in to both the panels. Both of them called her 100%. Unfortunately, her breeding is fairly unknown for what kind of Pyrenees. I kind of have suspicions it wasn't really a working line so much. She lacked a little bit of the instinct when she was young to do a good job. She kind of figured it out when she saw the puppy, who's a Crocochen, a whole different breed, do his stuff. She does have a couple negatives on her. From her shoulders to her waist, she's got lovely hair. It blows out every year, nice and clean, very few mats. But from her hip back, she has this coarse, springy hair that reminds me a lot of a Commodore. And it almost wants to create knits and just a big sheepskin mess. So it's quite abysmal in a working dog. Her other negative is, oops, sorry about that. camera's fussy. We do give her daily doses of glucosamine chondroitin because she does seem to be getting early onset arthritis in her front paws. And that is really unfortunate. So that's why I'm sitting here assessing calmer situations for her where she's not running around. She's not got to be working so hard. I do worry about her and her lifespan, that we could end up with some really bad arthritis as she gets older, but I'm hoping, since we've been giving her supplements since she's little, we'll do better. She does seem to like the boys a lot, so that would be a very easy fix for her, because they'll never have a big pasture. They'll have a rather large pen field set up, but she's not going to have to be traveling so much with them all the time. And outside of rut when they clash, like I said, we're working on figuring that out to where maybe we don't put everybody back in right away until we get around Christmas, maybe. Still feeling it out, not sure. We're going to probably try in a week and see how it goes. She's more likely to end up with calmer boys, so they like to lay around like bumps on a log normally, so. Only downside is they have tin cans and not a barn, but I am looking at potentially in the future, when she would retire permanently to them 4 or 5 years down the road, getting maybe a setup with a half barn or something. And yeah, I know it's kind of funny. I'll do the tin cans with a bunch of hay for my boys, but when it comes down to my dogs, I'm like, oh God, barn or nothing. But there's some lovely vendors out there that make smaller barns than the ones we have. More metal framed with wood on the inside. And I figure it's something that we could very easily build up on the inside, install thicker kickboards, even closing the opening a little bit more so it's a little bit less horse style, more smaller goat style. Even build in a little thing in the inside for the puppy if need be. Now, I'm not saying that she takes the winter hard. This is the dog who sat out here for this last week while it's been raining at night, out in the drizzling rain, yelling at everything that moved. So she is a lovely dog. She's very good at what she does. She enjoys the outside. She sleeps in the snow every damn year. She sits out in rainstorms. But just because she does that doesn't mean I don't want to give her a nice, cozy, warm place to sleep at night either. So now, right now, she's been staying with these boars. It's not been too bad. They do have the can when it's cold out. We do have hay in there and a good bunch of straw. Probably need to rebed it again. But and then you can see where she is right now. There's a bunch of hay that's spilled everywhere, and it's nice and warm. So she'll be going back to the girls in about another week. We just wanted to kind of establish a boundary on the field. So now we're about ready to get breakfast, so I'll sign this one off.